Welcome back to Hannity. In response to the rise of Islamic terrorism around the world, Senator Rand Paul recently introduced a bill to temporarily halt immigration from over 30 countries that are known to house high numbers of radical jihadists. Earlier today, the Senate Judiciary Committee approved an amendment that says individuals must not be prevented from entering America based on their religion. Joining us now, 2016 Republican presidential candidate Senator Rand Paul. It was a non-binding resolution. It was basically a show resolution, but a lot of Republicans supported it. I really don't see that much difference between your resolution and Trump's resolution or proposal, except that you just name countries. So really you're trying to do the same thing, because I assume you're listening to James Comey and James Clapper and all the other intelligence officials that are warning we don't have a good vetting system right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's a mistake to have a religious test, but I think it's also a mistake to take Hillary Clinton's position, which is radical Islam's not a problem, or she's not going to name the problem. We have to know who the problem is, and we have to know what their name is if we're going to combat them. My idea is that we do put a pause on immigration from about 34 countries, primarily in the Middle East, and we say to ourselves, do we know who is coming into our country now? Do we know that they haven't overstayed their welcome or their visa? Look, we were attacked on 9/11 by 19 hijackers who used legal immigration to come here. And I'm still not confident that we've fixed the problem that let those 19 hijackers in our country.
Yeah, well, where is the support level? In other words, I sense there's a political correctness that is dominating Washington politics these days. I think the American people showing that they think, based on what the intelligence officials in this country are saying, and based on what we learned about San Bernardino, and based upon the House Homeland Security chair on this program saying ISIS has a plan to infiltrate this country through the refugee population, that the people in this country are seeing things very differently than you guys in Washington. And I'm not really putting you in that group, so please don't take it personally.
This would not be the first time that the voters and the people outside of Washington are smarter than the people inside of Washington. In fact, I tell my compatriots, travel outside the Beltway and meet people in America. Because the thing is people in America would like to see more strict scrutiny on who comes to our country. You know, we aren't doing anything. We have 11 million people in the country, and 40% of them who have come illegally, 40% of them came and overstayed their visa. We have no idea who they are, where they are, and we don't seem to care. But over 1 million people came from the Middle East in the last 5 years on a visa. Do we know where they are? Do we know if there were visitors or students that they went home? I don't think we have a clue.
I sat through a security briefing when I was with Rick Perry down at the border. Over 611,000 Texans were victims of crimes by illegal immigrants, and from 2008 to 14. That's a lot of crimes, including rape and murder. Those are people, citizens of our country and citizens of the great state of Texas, victimized because we don't secure the border. I guess if it doesn't happen to, if it doesn't happen to me, I guess I don't have to worry about it. There's a mentality out there. But these are real people, real suffering, real crimes, and we're not doing anything about it.
To put it in perspective, we spend hundreds of billions of dollars defending ourselves in the war on terror. But we're not willing to do anything to defend our border. And this is a real beef I've had with Marco Rubio, and why I think he is weak on national defense is that he won't defend the border. I put forward, I think, a very common sense resolution to say we need to have better vetting before we continue immigrating people from the Middle East. And I don't get any support from those who profess to be for national security.
I thought you got support from Ted Cruz. Didn't he support you on that?
Ted did, but the other side, the neoconservatives, Lindsey Graham, the Marco Rubios, they're all on the other side, and they want to say they're national security conservatives, but they're not really willing to defend the border. And I think you got to defend your border. That's your first line of defense. You got to be able to defend your border. And I don't think you're seriously wanting to defend the country if you won't defend the border.
I think these issues are growing bigger every day as it relates to this 2016 race. Senator, good to see you. Thanks for being with us.